So I'm curious, were you guys even considering doing something alongside like ayahuasca or anything that's like an energy healing thing that you were like very close to participating in, or your mind has been very like hyper focused on wanting to do something like this? Has that been your experience? Hi Scorpio, welcome to your reading today. So this is going to be your mid-March reading for 2023, or whatever month you come across this video, it'll be for the next 30 days. All right, so we have some pre-drawn cards as well as a rune. We're going to flip over that rune and see which one you have in a second. But yes, we'll get through this and then we'll draw some extra cards just to see, can we get some more details, so that way you guys have as much information as we can possibly give you today. So this is a rune that you guys have today. And this rune can often talk about protection, defenses, things like awakenings, instincts, things like that. So you guys, I'm showing you upright, but you guys had this come in. So there is an aspect here of wanting to make sure that you have all the information that you need in a situation, that you protect yourself. So make sure that you do your due diligence. Make sure that you vet anybody that you are working with, anybody that you're dealing with, and making sure that you just are taking care of yourself. Because again, in the upright position, this would be talking about, okay, you are protected. You believe in spiritual guides, they are looking out for you. But in reverse, your spirit guides are giving you a friendly reminder or a friendly warning to make sure that you do your part as well, to make sure that you're taken care of. So let's see what this is talking about. So we have medicine woman, we have healing energy, and we also have a card here. So this things that you can add to your toolkits or information regarding mental health and things like that. But this one says avoid mood altering drugs and alcohol. If you drink alcohol or do street drugs, sit down and create a pros and cons list relating to your use. Activate your wise mind. Is it worth it? Commit yourself to cutting down or eliminating mood altering substances starting today. Avoiding these substances will help to regulate your emotions. So, what I want to say is, I don't get the sense that this reading is saying to cut out certain stuff or to not use certain stuff. I more so get the sense that this reading is coming in to say, do you know everything about the situation before you engage with it? So, for example, if you're going to go to an ayahuasca ceremony, do you have people that you know who have gone to these shamanic practitioners, and are they trustworthy people? Can you trust that you are safe and taken care of when under the influence during the ceremony? Things like that. Making sure that you do your due diligence about who it is that you put yourself under their protection of. Say, for example, you want to try like mushrooms or some other like psychedelic substance. Doing your due diligence to make sure you get it from a reputable source, or being able to test that drug somehow to make sure that whatever you're taking in, you are sure that that is the substance that you want to take in. Those sorts of things. So I feel like this is what this is talking about. But for that same reason, that means that many of my Scorpios in this pile are partaking in some type of substance that is going to allow you to sort of like open up your mind even more regarding your intuition, your psychic senses, things like that, and really leading to a sense of an awakening, a sense of spiritual growth, of mental growth, intellectual growth, emotional growth, whatever that thing is that you're trying to achieve. This is talking about experiencing that. And so I do want to preface that, but I wanted to preface the safety part first, just because we do have the aspect of that here with the rune, and that being a very important energy to kind of talk about. But we have medicine man or woman, so you're definitely doing something that is healing for you. So I do also want to mention that this doesn't mean that you, Scorpio, that you are doing an ayahuasca ceremony or using psychedelic mushrooms or something else like that. This could simply be that you are doing Reiki, or doing tap therapy, or some type of like, I want to say like energy healing massage sort of like thing, but also in those spaces, wanting to make sure that you do your research so that you feel safe with this person, that this is a person that you can trust to be doing this work on your body, because they do have to touch you and things like that. So yeah, so this is kind of what I'm getting for you guys. So let us get a. I want to get a confirmation card, a few confirmation cards, that way we can just get whatever else information is coming up for you guys. So we have all that glitters. So all that glitters usually talks about whatever thing you're looking at, um, not being as pretty on the inside as it looks on the outside. And I feel like, again, for whatever reason, Scorpio, this reading is coming in to say, like, we're not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm also not trying to sway you to do or to not do something. It's this like repeating energy of going the extra step to make sure that if a person is presenting a certain way, or if they have reviews on their website, trying to go to a third party source, like say go to Google reviews or go to Yelp reviews, some type of place that, or go to someone where they've already been there. That way you can get more accurate reviews, um, something along those lines. So let's see. And I do want to read, I'm going to read this one out of the deck as well. But let's get some more cards first. And I totally understand too. I do get the sense that for some of my Scorpios, this is an important step for you, because you may be deciding to do this for, say maybe you're deciding to do this for your mental health. And so this is a really important step for you, or decision for you. And, maybe you have concerns. And so this reading is coming in to say, like, hey, we get it. Like, we understand that you have concerns. And just reminding you that you are able to do research to try and safeguard yourself. It's amazing. There are a lot of YouTube channels that talk about drug safety and feeling safe and having positive trips if we use psychedelics, and being able to test substances that you get to make sure that they really are what they claim to be. So this says balance spirituality and practicality. Full moon in Pisces. So exactly. I feel like that's exactly what you guys are kind of doing. Like, you're wanting a spiritual experience through doing something practical. So like, you, instead of just like thinking about something or trying to mentally connect to something, you're wanting to use something that will kind of break down the barrier of making this experience super difficult. So for example, um, say you wanted to have an experience of like astral projection, like you've seen so many posts about it, seen so many people talk about it, and yet still you haven't been able to have the experience. And instead of kind of struggling through trying to get the experience, you want to use psychedelic mushrooms to kind of like push through that boundary, whatever's kind of blocking you. Let's see. Let's get one more card from this deck. Thank you. It says your commitment is being tested. So yeah, whatever this thing is, know that um, it's okay to take your time, like to do your timing in this thing. That whatever you are hoping to achieve, it will still be available for use. So it's okay to take your time to make sure that you're safe in the process, so that you can take the time to make sure that your environment will be comfortable, Maybe you want a trip sitter so that you don't feel alone during the trip. Um, Maybe you would prefer, say, for example, this is like ketamine therapy for depression or PTSD or anxiety or something. Trying to find a doctor who sets up the environment in a way that would be most helpful to you. Maybe you want to be in office for this experience versus doing it at home by yourself, things like that. So just know that um, while you want to stay committed to achieving a certain goal, that it's also okay to take the time to make sure that you'll be comfortable and safe again during this environment. And underneath, we have communication is key. So if you need to ask questions of people, to make sure that you can feel them out, to make sure you really kind of trust them. Like maybe reading their website gives a certain vibe, but when you talk to them on the phone for some reason, you're just like, you know what, this isn't a good fit for some reason. It just doesn't feel right. That sort of thing. Okay, so let us read All That Glitters straight out of the book because I know it's going to have a very clear, concise way to tell us what it's trying to tell us. All That Glitters says, a need to see beyond the superficial, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after very sparkly new things, being mercurial. And the protection message says this is a signal to walk away from what you're contemplating. There is a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath. Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation you will be sorry you got yourself into. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how spirit protects you? Better things await. So again, this is more so for you to use your intuition to glean, each situation. Again, there is this essence of protection, wanting to protect yourself. I wanted to make sure that you're okay. And I know I keep saying it, but I feel the need to keep reiterating this point because Scorpio, like, the last thing I want is for me to pick up on something in a reading and not mention it or not emphasize it to the state that I feel like it's coming through. For you guys to then have missed an opportunity to make sure that you guys are okay in the future or that you had a heads up so when something or someone says something or someone introduces them to you, you can better pick up on cues because now you'll kind of have this in your mind to just look out for stuff, not to be skeptical or cynical or anything like that, but just to have in the forefront of your mind, making sure that people really have the intention that they tell you that they have. All right, Scorpio, so this is all that I have for you guys today. I'm very curious, and I hope that I'm not like being too nosy, but I am very curious because this is a reading that's very unlike a reading that I would give. So I'm curious, were you guys even considering doing something alongside like ayahuasca or anything that's like an energy healing thing that you were like very close to participating in, or your mind has been very like hyper focused on wanting to do something like this? Has that been your experience? I'm very curious, and if you feel willing to share, like what that is and some of the ways that you've been able to safeguard yourself, make sure that you kind of vet out the situation or person. I would love to hear because if you're experiencing it as well, I'm pretty sure that there will also be other people who may be not yet aware of how they can safeguard themselves, and it may help someone else as well if you feel comfortable to share that. But yeah, you guys, thank you for allowing me to be here. I want to always remind you guys that you are doing the best that you can in this present moment with the knowledge and skills that you have. And as always, I hope that today's reading was confirmation of what you've been experiencing. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye, Scorpio.